Hi, this is the Democratic Alliance Labour Report. I haven't done one of these reports for a while and I apologise, but there's a very interesting happening at the moment where there seems to be a very big divide between Cosatu, the umbrella trade union movement, and the ANC, and the tripartite alliance is under threat. So thank you for tuning in. It's Friday the 30th of September 2022. I'm Michael Bagram, the Labour spokesperson for the Democratic Alliance. Well, to tell you a little bit of history and to go back a little bit into the trade union movement, and it's very important for us South Africans to understand it fully, what's going on. The trade unions were, to a large degree, very useful when it came to the destruction of apartheid and the bringing down of the Nationalist Party government. It was useful, it was very structured, and I think very good, and they did an excellent job by all standards. So we need to applaud Cosatu and its forerunners for that. Well, of course, it was to be understood that when the first elections came and we had President Mandela standing to be the first president of a democratic country, Cosatu very firmly stood behind the ANC. They signed a tripartite alliance with the ANC, the Communist Party, and themselves, and they formed this alliance. Of course, there were pundits and analysts who said there could be problems in the future with regard to an agreement, an alliance between the governing party, which is ANC, and in fact, any political parties with trade unions. And there was always this question, and we've seen around the world, that when there is an alliance between a political party and a trade union, that always turns sour in the long term. And this has carried on for many years. There's been disquiet, there's been problems, but there has, to a large degree, been some sort of peace between Cosatu and the ANC. When the ANC was stealing, Cosatu was quiet. When the ANC was destroying the public sector to a large degree, Cosatu was quiet. When we saw the destruction over the Zuma years, when the country was to a large degree completely destroyed, Cosatu kept quiet. So we didn't see much of that right through that, and it's probably because the leadership of Cosatu found places in parliament, people were living off the fat of the land, and the leadership of Cosatu were very happy. The workers weren't, but the leadership was happy and the workers kept quiet. Well, about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, a wage agreement was entered into between the largest employer in South Africa and Cosatu, the largest employer being government. So it's the civil service signed a 3-year wage agreement. Well, it was a wage agreement that many of us, I included, said wasn't sustainable. The government didn't have the money. Government is almost bankrupt, and they were offering fancy wages to the civil servants. And of course, we saw the civil servants are earning more than the private sector. They've also been quadrupling in size. So the civil servants has grown bloated and overpaid and not providing. But it's been good for Cosatu because their members, the majority of whom are in the civil service, were earning big money, like I said, better than the private sector, and were burgeoning. They were employing more and more people to do less and less work. And of course, that 3-year wage agreement was trumpeted by Cosatu as being a great success. Everyone signed, they all hugged each other, and they left the negotiations. Well, the first year increase was paid. Everyone happy. The second year increase was paid. Everyone happy. The third year government didn't have the money. The coffers were dry. And what did they do? Duplicitously, they said that they can't pay because of a technicality. This technicality was a minor technicality. It went to court. The court agreed with the ANC, with the government, standing government at the time, and they said they don't need to pay the increase. Cosatu cried foul, the workers cried foul. There was the beginning of a big downfall. No trust between Cosatu and the governing party, the ANC. Well, of course, that trust is still broken, and the rank and file, the workers in South Africa, know and understand who they're dealing with. They're dealing with a duplicitous party, people who lie, people who unfortunately don't stand by their word. And of course, at the end of the day, the payment was not made. And so we saw, after the Zuma years, the spineless new president come in, and who wanted to come and speak at a rally, at a Cosatu rally. Well, he was booed off the stage, so much so that in fact they had to take him out by security vehicles. The president was scared stiff. He had to run with his tail between his legs. Well, let's bring it right up until today. What's happened now at the Cosatu AGM, at their rallies, they sent someone to come and speak to them. The Cosatu rally obviously is normally addressed by the ANC. They're being partners. Well, who was sent? The president was clever enough not to go. I think he knew what he was going to get, because he'd got it last time, and he was so scared he had to run. This time they sent Minister Mantashe, who has a trade union background and was invariably loved by the workers of South Africa. Well, Mantashe couldn't open his mouth. He got booed and he got shut up by the crowds at the Cosatu rally. They said they're not going to have anyone from government, they don't trust them, and they don't trust the ANC. That despite the leader of Cosatu, Lozi, saying that they have the best option is to support the ANC. Well, the workers didn't listen. The workers know differently. They know better than their leadership. Lozi, of course, is looking to one day get some sort of position in Parliament, possibly a position in the cabinet, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. The workers of South Africa said, no, we don't want to hear from you. And of course, at the end of the day, when you have the leaders of the ANC coming to address a Cosatu conference, they're not going to be tolerated. Of course, there's still going to be more to this. They're having a new discussion early on in next year, in 2023. And of course, what's happened now is the Cosatu leadership has put in wage demands for 2023 and onwards. And the ANC, who can't afford to pay more than the 3% they've offered, have said they can't go any further. Well, the trade unions have now said, you won't get our support in the elections in 2024 if at any stage you don't give us our wage demands. Our government has been held to ransom. Two crooks speaking to each other. I understand the rank and file of the trade union, the workers. I understand that. I wouldn't trust an ANC either if I was in their position. And in fact, I don't. As a person, I don't trust them. So let's watch this space. We're living in interesting times. We might face a civil servant strike, a mother of all strikes. So thank you for listening to me. It's Michael Bagram, Friday, the 30th of September, 2022. Thank you.